I'm here with Finnish cybersecurity experts F-Secure, and I'm pleased to welcome Tom Gaffney.
Hello.
Hi, Tom. We're going to talk a little bit about identity theft. Now, to start off with, I gather that in the US, identity theft is a bigger deal, both in terms of public consciousness and in terms of service providers offering it as a service to their customers. Can you start by telling us a little bit about why you think it's not such a big deal over here?
Historically, it hasn't been, but it is today because we're seeing a massive increase in identity theft from corporations, and it's spreading outside the US to global corporations and more closer to home around the world. So a number of threats that have happened which lead to people's personal identity being stolen from them. And consumers care about that. More than half of us have either been directly the victim of some kind of cyber crime, identity theft, or we know somebody who has. And that means people are worried about it. And we know that they're willing to pay for services that could help protect their identity. And that, of course, is where there's an opportunity for operators. And we're seeing a number of operators outside of the US starting to scramble to seize that opportunity. So already, F-Secure, we only launched our service at the back end of 2019, and we'll have 10 operators launching this year. And in fact, we had our first operator launch in Japan last week.
Okay, well, congratulations. Before we get a bit further into that, can you just tell us a little bit more about why, assume I'm incredibly complacent about these things, why should I be more worried?
It's essentially because we have to create online accounts with every service that we interact with. So everybody wants to know something about you. It's almost impossible to complete a transaction without creating an account. Any new store that you go to online wants you to create an account. Similarly, my kid's school, my football club, my gym, the government, medicals, everybody wants to collect data from you, or wants you to register an account, which means typically entering an email address and a password. And that's where the vulnerability lies. Many people reuse the same password.
Guilty.
Yeah. Something like 8 out of 10 people will reuse a few passwords, and about half of people will use the same password for most things that they do. So those passwords are valuable, of course, to hackers. They might steal the account to, let's say, your gym. You might not think that's particularly important. But if it is the same password you're using for your Amazon account, then that suddenly is quite important. And because the email address is generally the constant, most of us might have 1, 2, or 3 email addresses, that's the relatively easy thing for a criminal or a hacker to target. So if they can get your email and your password for one account, then they're going to try your other accounts. And they will try the usual suspects, so your eBays and your Amazon. So it leads to a chain reaction if one account is hacked that leads to other accounts becoming vulnerable.
Okay, well, you convinced me. So what can you guys do to help me with this problem?
Well, we are basically leveraging our heritage as a security company. So F-Secure, operating out of Finland, we've been going for more than 30 years. And we've created a global infrastructure which uses sophisticated web scanning alongside really highly skilled analysts. What we're trying to do is prevent something called attack takeover. So the moment when criminals will get into a corporation to steal those credentials. So we're targeting the breach at the first opportunity that we can. What most other players in this field do is something called deep web scanning, and that's automated algorithms which search in what we call the dark web looking for your credentials. This is typically some 3 to 4 months after a breach has happened to a corporation. Data is only leaked into the dark web when the guy who nicked it in the first place has basically sweated the assets that he's already used. So what F-Secure is doing is utilizing our heritage as a cybersecurity company and our expertise to identify the attack at the early stages. We then also match that data to passwords so we can see if that information is being used in other attacks or other compromises or in other malicious ways. So we're doing it from the top level like that. And then there's a secondary level for a user. Of course, we do notification if we discover some kind of breaches, but we've also got an inbuilt password manager, which helps generate unique passwords for customers, which helps them to develop better security for their own different online accounts.
Okay, and just to finish off, we were talking earlier about this in the context of the service provider channel. Why do you think service providers should be looking to make me aware of products like yours?
So the reason F-Secure have always targeted on operators or service providers as a community is they're naturally the person that you buy the broadband service from or the mobile package. And they're the person that opens the door, let's say. So they're also the first place to go to help you secure that door. So you're route out to the world, and it's quite natural to take internet access and then take some kind of security services with it. It's just a natural relationship.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.